Hey, what's going on? What's going on? What's up? What's up? How are you guys feeling? You are the English B people. You are hours away from your exam. English A people just a few days away. So, how are we feeling about all of this? Feeling happy? Feeling ready? Excited to write? Stressed? Oof. Oh man. Stressed, stressed, stressed. Wait a minute. Moya, I'm stressing you? What's going on here? Please explain. You need to explain. How am I stressing you? Kellen wants to run away. Interesting response. Run away to where? The land of grade ones? It's a good place to reach. At least someone's kind of ready. And someone's reasonable. All right. These are some okay. You still need to learn the poems? Oh, man. So I guess sleeping is off the table. Well, I'm stressing you up by giving you the reality. I see. Yeah, lit exams. Yeah, English being 24 hours. You still have short stories to cover. Oh man, oof, it's a lot. I've touched on everything except 12th night for the English B people. And if this live were earlier, and if it could have been a short live, I might just touch on 12th night after this session. But let's see how it goes. Let's see how long this live ends up being. I'll have some guests coming on. Hopefully they arrive shortly. And these guests, some of the faces and names might be familiar to you guys. I'll be speaking with, if they manage to show up, we'll be speaking with some teachers who actually mark CSEC scripts, English A and B. Yes, no name. I like that. I like that attitude. It's a one. Even if you're nervous, you can still get a one nervously. You can be nervous and still write confidently, right? Confidence can be in the writing, even if it's not in your heart, really. If you're feeling nervous, don't write how you feel. Yeah. Afraid? You shouldn't be afraid, Johnny. Haven't you been to the lives? Haven't you been practicing the writing? Yeah, 12th night. Somebody just said do Anansi. Oh yeah, Curry's saying you should do Anansi. I mean, it's good to have what should I say? It's good to have coverage. It's good to have options. So if you can enter the exam knowing both plays, maybe have a plan A, but having a plan A and a plan B would be good. Yeah. Yeah, the paper ones. I would say between SBI and paper ones, I can secure like half of the marks because the paper ones are quite predictable in that they repeat questions very, very often. If you watch my paper one videos for both English A and B, then you will see just how limited C6 imagination is with their question creation. And I'm saying the poems, and you need to get ready for prose, Jalia. You need to get ready for prose. Watch all of my Letitia videos. That might help to prep you for prose. Of course, Animal Farm is coming. What do you mean? All the texts are coming. Yeah. What about English A? English B is coming up shortly, but how are you feeling about English A? In this live, I'm hoping to I'm hoping we can get some insight on English A and B. Some students here are only doing English A, I imagine. Oh yeah, yeah. That's good to hear. The answer is all of them. Zoopy or loopy. Practice everything. Don't don't choose. Just practice everything. Yeah. Oh, English A passing with flying colors. Nice. It's good to hear. I've been hearing about this Minty. You have Gaspian, man. What is this Minty I keep talking about? English A is going to be a breeze. I'm not sure if this guy's referring to the Gaspian that Curse has been mentioning. What breeze? Good morning, sir. What if you don't get a chance to finish paper two? I would say don't even think like that. Just make sure you finish it. The key to finishing paper two, I mean, I'm hoping that the markers show up and you can hear it from the horses' mouths. But the key to finishing paper two is to plan. Plan for each section. If you have watched the live streams that I've been doing, then you'll have a handle on what planning is like. If you plan and follow your plan, you will not go overtime. So you'll be able to finish. Yeah. Section D, the easiest section, Rary. Really? Section D is so predictable. The argumentative or persuasive piece. Easy. 5-paragraph model. Plan. Intro, 3 points, conclusion, execute, bam, bam, bam. Easy. Easy marks. Well, Minty is a story. I know I was just joking a little bit to lighten the mood. I know it's a story. I haven't covered the stories though, unfortunately. Announcing notes. Well, I have some announcing videos, but I don't know about written notes at the moment. Summary. Watch my summary videos and CSEC Panda's summary videos. That will ease your mind where summary is concerned. Summary can be nerve-wracking, but it can also be one of the more predictable sections if you are prepared enough. Well, you watched every minute of each. All right, so why are you worrying? Are you just watching or are you watching and practicing? Which is it? Yeah. You should be watching, and while watching, you know, using those videos to actually get some practice in. Maybe a practice while you watch or after you watch, practice using the techniques. Yeah. How do you deal with nervousness? Oh yeah, comic relief. And speaking of relief, I guess we're still on the Minty conversation. Who needs to be relieved? People keep talking about 12th night. My goodness, there's a YouTube channel called 5 Quote Shakespeare, I believe. That guy has everything you need to know on 12th night. However, I want to do it, but tonight is the last chance I have to go live before you guys do the exam, so it doesn't seem possible. The only way that might happen is if the CSEC if none of the CSEC markers show up to this live, and I just turn this into a 12th night live instead. That's the only way I foresee 12th night happening. Oh my gosh, we're still asking questions about sections. You may get a report, but you may also get a letter or an email or a memo or a notice. There are many kinds of writing, many kinds of writing that you can get to do. So section B is quite unpredictable. Yeah, I think English B is more difficult to manage in terms of time. Both preparing for the exam and managing the time in the exam can be tough for English B because it requires, much deeper thinking, much more critical thinking than you will do for English A. Not dissing English A or anything, but English B goes deep. So the only cure for that is practice. Yeah, all of the text will be coming. What do you mean? Sajid, all the texts are coming. So expect something from the 20 poems. Expect something between Anansi and 12th Night. Expect something among Animal Farm, Letitia, and the 10 stories. Of course, we don't know what themes or what the questions themselves will be, but we just know that those are the texts that we're working with. Hey, Tyreek. Akila, that sounds next to impossible. Unfortunately, like reviewing, unless I get a chance to do some reviewing on stream, like checking email and giving feedback on works, I think that ship has sailed. I am drowning in that sort of work. So unfortunately, what you could do is look at the guidelines presented in like the videos and sessions and judge yourself based on those guidelines. Or if you have study groups, classmates doing the same exam, assess each other's writings. Yeah. I'm not sure I understand this, Chanesia. Is there any videos or notes about how to combine the 2 poems they give you in section B? What do you mean combine? You're not going to be combining them. You're going to be comparing 2 poems. You're going to be comparing 2 poems. So you're looking at a similar theme for both poems, but you're not combining them in any way. I mean, the advice would be the same for any of the texts, which is in terms of what you need to know plot, you need to know what happens in the book, in the text, obviously. You need to know the themes, especially the most important themes. Watch the Animal Farm live that I did with Jamie and Hutton, and you'll get an idea of a couple of themes that come out. And there are lots of notes floating around online for Animal Farm. Animal Farm is it's a classic, so you can find information on Animal Farm easily. So you need to know the plot, you need to know the themes, you need to know what narrative devices, or for the players, dramatic devices, for the poems, poetic devices. You get the drift. And you need to know about the characters. You need to be able to comment on the characters. So plot, devices, themes, characters. If you know those 4 elements of a text, you're good in terms of knowledge. In terms of writing, watch my poetry essay videos. But in general, it's a 5-paragraph structure. In general, intro, you're gonna answer 3 parts of the question, 1 in each paragraph, and then a conclusion. That's generally how it is. Why do you think Anansi is better, Angel? I think I agree. Anansi is much easier than 12th Night. It's much easier. And they have a whole course out on Anansi. So in terms of videos on that, you can be sure. You can be sure of that. A Course Hero is good, but even better than Course Hero is 5 Quote Shakespeare, another channel. Very, very good stuff. His videos are long, but I mean, my videos are long as well. The good videos are gonna be long. If you want detailed information, you gotta be willing to, watch for many minutes, even hours. Sir, are you going live again tonight? This is tonight for me, Sand. It is tonight. It's 10:15 p.m. So there's no more tonight left over on my side of the world. So this is my last live. Your tonight is my tomorrow, and my tomorrow I'll be at work. Yeah. So this is it. This is the final live, actually. In terms of English B. I'm still giving the markers a bit more time to message me and say either they're coming or they're not coming. How did they mark English B? I'm really hoping to get one or two markers onto the live in a few moments, and they can tell you more about that. But in general, I mean, it's just follow the advice that I've been giving you and other teachers have been giving you about what you need to know and how you need to write, and they're gonna mark based on that. You have your English A and your English B syllabi. If you have the syllabus, check the syllabus. You will see all of the different mark schemes and what they're looking for. If you look at the past papers, within the instructions, they tell you what they're grading for. Right? They tell you what you need to do. So if you do what they ask, you'll get a good grade. What do you mean, Natalie? There are 4 sections. Are you struggling with any particular section? Yeah, the short stories usually get left behind. Actually, they don't often get covered in class, and students don't often read them on their own. Most students prefer to read one prose text than to try to cover 10 stories. But actually, if you're able to cover everything, Animal Farm plus Letitia plus at least half of the stories, that's more options you have in the exam. The more options you have, the better, because the text you might be planning on answering, you might just have bad luck with that question. The question might be really hard. Yes, Kemar, are you a CSEC YouTuber? Kemar CSEC Resources. Definitely don't leave that out. I haven't seen many videos on YouTube about covering statistical report, but it's a possibility for section B of English A. Cristiano, welcome to the live and good luck. Good luck in your exams. So, Angel, I'm assuming you've watched my prose essay writing thing because you haven't asked about poetry, but it's quite similar in how you structure it. The question is going to have multiple parts. So just like you do with the poetry essays, same kind of outline, same style of intro, same style of 3 body paragraphs, same style of conclusion. Yeah, so pretty similar stuff. All 3 sections are similar in terms of what they require, like with writing style and technique. Quite similar. Of course, the questions and the content is going to be different, but the writing format is pretty similar. You will not be asked, and you should not be writing a summary of any text on the exam. What you'll be doing is you'll be analyzing. So you might need to reference different parts of the text, but you will not be just recapping the whole text. That exam would be too easy. Yeah, of course, you want to be able to quote, provide evidence from the text. So quote lines from the poem or lines from the novel or lines from the play, but you will not be just summarizing any texts. Yeah. While answering the question, you'll have to touch on how a certain theme is established within that short story. So if they're asking about something about race, then you can very briefly summarize how race comes out in the short story. But there's no need to just give a summary of the story from beginning to end. You're answering a direct question. Yeah. Hey Josiah, welcome. You can choose between Animal Farm and the 12 stories. It's between, you have 3 options when it comes to prose. Option 1 is Letitia. Option 2 is Animal Farm. Option 3 will be a comparative essay between 2 of the 10 stories. Okay, that person might have meant how do you compare the poems. Well, if that's what you're asking, just watch my poetry essay videos. And I have about 4 or 5 videos in which I show you actual samples that I've written, and you see how I compare them, how I introduce, how I compare, how I give the evidence and stuff like that. So if you're worried about the poetry essay or any of the essays, watch those videos. In one of the videos, I give you the entire formula, like just follow this formula. And in the other videos, I actually give you examples of essays. Yeah, this format can be used for all of the sections, all sections. Just pay attention to the question. The sections will have slightly different types of questions, but the same overall format can be used. What do you mean? What if they bring a Nancy? So, guys, in section A, there will be an Anansi question and a 12th night question. You choose one of those. Section B, there will be a Letitia question, uh, Animal Farm question, and a story comparison question. You choose one. Section C, there will be two poetry questions. You choose one of the poetry questions. So all of the text will be on the exam. You're going to answer one question per section. One for drama, one for prose, and one for poetry. Yeah, Angel, I think there was actually nothing online when I checked. I couldn't find anything, neither written or in video. So I decided that I would have to. It was pretty tough crunching them out so fast. You might notice like the editing quality, wasn't as high as like with the Anansi videos, but I had to crunch them out quickly because there was nothing online, at least as far as I could find. How's 12th night superior? 12th night is more difficult, in my opinion, anyway. Oh, so them are, if you only know 12th night, you you will not be having any options when it comes to drama. You will have to just work with 12th night. That is kind of the danger of only learning one text in a section. You better know it well. Yeah, Animal Farm has a number of different resources you can access in terms of written study guides and videos, because Animal Farm is a world renowned text. It's not like Anansi where not everybody knows about Anansi. Animal Farm is George Orwell, like one of the most famous authors in modern history. So if you look online, just Google search, I can get lots of PDFs, see lots of videos and stuff like that. So for Animal Farm, there's no shortage of material. Same for 12th Night. For Lacey, for Letitia and Nancy, I couldn't really find anything. So I focused on making those courses first. I mean, if you're going into the exam not knowing all of the texts, then it's a gamble. That's what I can say, Matthew, to be honest. So if you know one novel, you better hope that question is you can manage that question because you won't have a choice. If you know one play, you better hope you can manage that question on that play. And if you only know half of the poems, you better hope whatever questions they feature can be answered within that half of the poems. So it's a case where even if it means just bleaching 6 hours and consuming the other half of the poems, the more texts you know, the more options you'll have in the exam. Yeah. I don't think they would repeat the same question. I'm not sure if I've ever seen a paper two question repeat like word for word, but it's the same types of questions though. Same question types. I'm from Jamaica, Kadim. How many quotes are necessary? I mean, just enough quotes so CSEC knows that you know the book. So for the poems, you touch on a particular theme. If you can write out one or two quotes to support that theme, that's good. You touch on a device. If you can use one or two quotes to support that device, that's good. So whatever point you're making, you want at least one piece of evidence from the text to support that point. Whether it's drama, poetry, or prose. You make a statement, you make a claim, it's good to support it with evidence. Even if it's not like word for word quotation, mention something that happens in the text that supports that point that you're making. Oh yeah, I'm from Jamaica, but I'm living in Japan. Been in Japan for about 5 years, almost 6 years maybe. I've not marked CSEC papers. Um, I taught in Jamaica for just a few years before coming over to Japan, but I've been working with markers for a while now. I've had workshops with markers, and I've had markers here on this channel. You know, Gavin, who was here, was it yesterday? He's a marker. Triple A, Annette, who has been here for some of the English B lives, she's a marker. So you probably know more markers than you think. Like a lot of the teachers you interact with actually mark for CSEC. You probably just don't know it. Yeah, you're welcome, young TYI 8. I love doing this stuff. I love it. What about English? If you have questions for English A, ask. I mean, persons are asking about English B, so I'm talking about English B. But if you're worried about anything in terms of English A, let me know, and I'll try to answer until I'm gonna give the markers 5 more minutes. If they don't show up, we'll just continue this Q&A for a little while, and then maybe I'll be able to touch on 12th night for a little while. How is gender shown in The Woman Speaks? Man, I'm not sure if I can answer specific poetry questions in terms of time, but I'm sure you haven't watched my video on this poem if you're asking me this question. Cherry Poppins. Gender is shown in The Woman Speaks. The woman speaks to the man who's employed her son. We see that the one of the factors that might lead to how disempowered the mother is the fact that she's a woman. Those in the poem of power are the son, who has the power to um you know take this particular path in life, which is stressing out his mother, and the man who has employed the son. So we see where both of the male figures have some amount of power over this woman. It might not necessarily be because they are men, but it just so happens that the woman in the poem seems to be at the mercy of the men. Yeah. I wouldn't say gender is a main theme in that poem anyway. The main themes might be poverty, crime, expectation versus reality, hopes and dreams, hopes and desires, stuff like that. Gender isn't a main theme in that poem. Sir, do I need to comment on every play within an unseen my essay? Comment on every play? What do you mean? Like every forest story? Explain this question, Sand. Quotations are important for every essay. You need evidence. That's just what it is. So for Animal Farm, for example, just memorize some of the key quotes. Like all animals are created equal, but some animals are more equal than others. Something like that. That's a famous quote that could tie into a lot of different themes when it comes to equality, oppression, stuff like that. So just memorize a couple of critical lines that are like multi-purpose quotes that could be worked into different types of essays. Yeah, it's much easier to remember quotes for the books than for the poems, because there are 20 poems. That's rough. English A, sir. My teacher wait until last to start teaching. Dear editor, and short story. Dear editor, you mean like letter to the editor in terms of section B? Short stories. I'm telling you, if you watch my short story live, you're good. If you watch my short story live, use it to practice and memorize. Learn how to plan and execute a story and what types of sentences to include. You should be able to do well on the short story. Believe me. Give me a second. This light is so bright. Oh man, there's no winning. Oh man. Wow, wow, wow. It's been 30 minutes. So I think no one is coming to my rescue. Uh, yeah, no one is coming to my rescue. All right, but let me keep chatting with you guys and vibing. See if I can put your minds at ease. Uh, no videos on 12th night yet. I say yet, but maybe there's just no more time because this live tonight is like the last time I can possibly go live before exams. No need to state the line number, but if you can remember like what stanza or like if it's in the middle of the poem or at the beginning or near the end, that could be like more impressive. But there's no need to memorize line numbers. That would be impossible. Memorizing line numbers for all 20 poems. That's insane. That's insane. I'm not sure. I'm going with the flow in terms of how long this live will be. This is my last live with most of you guys, so I'm not rushing. But let's see if markers are able to show up. I hope so. I don't think I've ever seen a question repeat for English B paper 2. You're late, but you haven't really missed anything, to be honest. You haven't missed anything. A question they can give. I mean, look at the questions they give for the like on all of the past papers they have. Check out the questions they give for the other plays. They can just ask the same kinds of questions for 12th night. Same kind of thing. Talk about characters, setting, blah blah blah. The same types of questions they ask for plays on the past papers. They can ask for 12th night and just switch up the question a little bit to fit 12th night. You know, no name. I have that same feeling. You know, I don't know why, but I have that feeling. Nature is, I mean, nature, race, and death. I think are themes that have a high chance of appearing. Like one of those three, at least one of those three, I think might very well appear. Nature, race, death. Yeah. Two of the new poems kind of deal with death, right? Death be not proud, obviously, death. And A Lesson for This Sunday kind of touches on death. So it's weird that two out of the three new poems touch on death. Yeah. I find that a little bit suspicious. Yeah, when it comes to 12th night, love, perception versus reality, or appearance versus reality, disguise, stupidity slash insanity. These are themes present in the text. Music also, they might ask you to comment on like the role music plays in the text and the dramatic significance. Music is featured quite a lot in that play. Khalifa, I have 5 videos on my channel that answer this question. 5 videos on my channel where you can watch me write the essays comparing the poems. So watch those videos. Yeah, Angel, I teach English here. I teach at a kind of international high school here in Japan. The school I teach at is pretty famous when it comes to sports. A lot of the kids here go on at this school go on to make like national teams and stuff like that. They have a pretty good English program as well. Yes, Jada, I have a couple of videos where I do that. There's one video, you know what, guys. I hope you don't mind, since I'm waiting anyway. Let me give you a tour of my channel. Let me know in the comments if you want me to tell you what videos to watch, what order to watch them in, and how to watch them. Do you want to know that? Because so many of these questions you guys are asking, I've answered them in detail on my channel, but you probably just haven't seen those videos. Because I have over 100 videos, so you probably just haven't seen those videos. I'm going to show you how to watch, how to get the content for, wow, so many S's, for both English A and English B. You might go to the channel and see so many videos, and you get confused, you start feeling flustered. So many, I'll just click off and not watch anything. I'm gonna show you guys exactly what you need to watch. Yeah, I'm gonna show that to you. Because let me tell you guys, content is there. And after this, for English A, I'll see if I can go through Panda's channel and show you what content I think you need to watch. All right. Let me go to the channel page where you will be able to. Yes, Letitia is coming. All right, let me share. Yeah, the videos are organized. Thank you. Supportive lurking. So you show yourself as soon as I mention a name, Panda. Sus, you're sus. Yeah, as Lionheart is saying, Lionheart, man, you need some kind of medal, man. I have to give you a medal because you're not even taking these tests and you're here. Man. Oh, yeah, your ears are ringing, Panda. Panda, don't be too disappointed, but I was expecting a few markers to show up. But these markers all said maybe we can show up because we have work, so it's not a must. But in the meantime, I'm just chit-chatting about English A and B. And what I'm about to do now is I'm going to give you guys a tour. Oh, thank you, Lionheart. Respect. I'm going to give you guys a tour of the channel because you don't have much time left. So I want to show you the must watch videos. That's what I want to do right now. All right. And if Panda wants to, Panda can jump in. And I mean, maybe Panda doesn't want to. It's last minute. But if you want to, Panda, you can jump in, share your screen, and show them like the most watched videos that you have. All right. So this is my channel right here. All right. Let me go to playlists. So you go to my channel, you click on playlists. Yeah. You with me so far? You click on playlists. Now let me deal with English B people first. So English B people. When it comes to poetry, where do you start? You start right here, where it says CSEC English B poetry lessons. English B people, you watch this. Let me click on this. View full playlist. This is every CSEC poem, every current CSEC poem. And here you have a detailed, you see these timestamps? These are not joke videos. You have a detailed analysis of each CSEC poem. Watch these videos and take notes. Some of you might have watched some of them, maybe 10, 15. Watch all of them and take notes. That is step 1. Watch these and take notes. All right. What do you do next? If you have more questions on the poems, go here. Poetry Zoom discussions. All right. This is just some additional content on some of the poems where I have actual lessons. Here I had a lesson with some Jamaican students, right? Denby High, I think. Here I had a chat with some teachers. These are lit teachers you're seeing right here. We discussed one of the new poems for 1 hour, right? Look at this, guys. We don't joke around with poetry. So that's if you need additional information on the poems. All right. Let's say you have watched all of those poetry videos. You feel like you have it covered. You just want to recap just to make sure you're not missing anything. Where do you go? You go here. CSEC English B Poetry Overview. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you the videos here. Major devices in CSEC poems. If you go here and click on this video, I will talk about all of the poetic devices you can talk about in all of the poems. I touch on each poem. For example, theme for Dreaming Black Boy. I tell you the main poetic devices used. This is important because you will have to write about the poetic device in your English B essay. All right. The next video you should watch is this one. Major themes in the CSEC poems. It says updated, which means the new poems are here and the old poems are gone. So you won't be wasting your time. Yeah, this is the new syllabus. Guys, I have the whole thing right here. I have the whole system. When you watch this video, you're going to learn about all of the poems and how they connect in terms of themes. Thematic connection. This is important because in the poetry section, you will get the opportunity to choose 2 poems that fit a certain theme and write an essay. If you watch this, you will be able to do that easily. All right, next thing. If you want to learn about the tone and mood in the poems, let's say you're struggling with the tone and mood, you're not sure what is tone, what is mood, watch this live stream here, tone and mood. And these are lit teachers and CSEC markers that I'm streaming with. And there's a part 2. Watch that. Tone and mood. Good. Good. Let's say you're good with tone and mood, you're good with devices, you're good with themes. By the way, I have one more devices video. In this video, I talk about 32 poetic devices. And for each device, I show you examples of these devices in the CSEC poems. This is content. This is not joke. And these videos are not joke videos. You understand me? This is a live stream I did for the exam students last year. CSEC English B exam prep poetry Q&A. Just like this year, students came onto the live, they asked questions, I answered questions for 3 hours. So if you have a question, chances are somebody else asked it last year and I answered it last year. 3 hours. There are only 24 hours in a day, so you can't watch everything if you haven't watched anything yet. But you might have missed some of these. All right. So you're almost done with poetry. Almost. Almost. The next thing you want to do with poetry, if you know a good understanding of the poems, is you want to master the poetry essay writing. That's what you want to do. How do you do that? You're gonna go here. This says CSEC English B poetry essay writing. All you're asking about essay format and how you compare poems, you have not watched this playlist. You have not. Look at these videos. Look at these videos. The essay formula. Guys, come on. You can't want more than that. The essay formula. How to get full marks on the CSEC English B poetry question. You're asking me this question. I've answered it one year ago. I answered the question. And only 11,000 people want to get full marks. What about everybody else? What do you want? Half marks? Watch this video and I will show you step by step the formula for writing the essay. The formula. You do this, then that, then this, then that. You do it in this way. But we're not going to stop there. I teach you the formula, then you watch these videos. Here, I write an essay. In this video, I am writing a poetry essay. And I am answering a past paper question right here. I do the same thing here. In this video, same thing here, same thing here. So I'm answering past paper questions, writing essays in real time. Watch the videos, learn how to write. Here, CSEC English B exam prep essay marathon. Right? You can see the essays that the last year students wrote and the feedback they got. And you can learn from that feedback. Guys, this is only poetry. This is just poetry. So if you watch all of those and you're good with poetry, let's look at prose. For prose, there's Animal Farm and Letitia. Where's Letitia? For the Life of Letitia. Bam. View playlist. Luckily for you, only 4 videos. For the Life of Letitia, plot summary and analysis. This video is me recapping the entire book from cover to cover. Guys, even if you're too lazy to read, you should still read. This is me recapping the entire plot of the novel. The 200-page book is in this 1 hour video right here. The 200-page book is in this video. All right. After you've watched that, you want more information on the characters, you watch this one. Character analysis. I talk about every character and I talk about the different themes that they play into the roles they play in the novel, stuff like that. Themes here, devices here. Bam. Done with Lacey. Yeah, done with Lacey. If you go over to Anansi, similar thing here. This is Anansi. Part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5. Or just watch this, you get everything all at once. Anansi. And a Q&A live chat, Anansi. For Animal Farm, it's not in a playlist because it's just one live video. Yeah. For English A people, CSEC English A paper 2, view this playlist. These are the live streams I've done recently. The live streams for each section of the paper. Section A, and CSEC Panda and Gavin Sams, these guys were here. Right? Section A, not section A. This one is section A, summary. Sorry, essay writing with CSEC Panda and Gavin Sams. Story writing. Summary writing. This is the last year summary thing. Expository writing. So in the last week or so, I did 1 live session per section of the paper. These are some of the same questions we tackled in the expository live, but because this is 5 hours and nobody wants to watch a 5-hour video, I just took them out and put them here so you can just easily jump to whichever one you need. All right. So that covers my content on English A paper 2. Next, paper 1. English B paper 1. English B paper 1. Past papers being worked. Yeah. Okay. What about English A? English A paper 1. Past papers being worked. Past papers being worked. Take this marathon, 5 hours, 300 questions, worked. Yeah. Where's Panda? Is Panda in the chat? Panda has some content that I haven't covered. Yeah. Panda has some content that I haven't covered. Look at this. CSEC English A study help. Bam. Guys, the content is here. Look at this. Past paper questions for paper 2. Bam. Report writing. I've gotten 100 comments asking, do report writing, do report writing. This is report writing right here. I'm looking at it. Panda has it. Bam. Yeah. Walkthrough of the entire paper. Bam. More summary. Bam. 4 hours of summary, not enough for you? More summary. Bam. More expository. Bam. Letter writing, story writing, persuasive writing. I'm tired of seeing the paper 3 questions. This paper 3 thing, I watched this paper 3 video while washing the dishes today, just to get my mind ready. Yeah, perfect explanation of what to expect for paper 3. So for private candidates not doing the SBA, bam, paper 3 covered. Yeah, more summary, more expository. And this is only one playlist. That's only one playlist on one channel on YouTube. Summary writing, a whole playlist for summary. Guys, come on. So a lot of the questions you're asking, even know hours and days before the exam. I mean, the questions have been answered in these videos. You just need to watch them. Some of you might be overwhelmed by the content. Search for the videos that speak to your weaknesses and prioritize those. If you can't watch everything, watch the videos that are going to help you to fix the problems that you have. Don't try to watch every video on every channel. If you're weak on summary, why are you watching story videos? Find all of these summary videos and watch them. And while you're watching them, you have your past paper, and you have your pen, you have your notepad. Yeah. And other subjects here, office admin and whatnot. So guys, the content is there. The content is actually there. So hopefully now you understand that Aquila, what I'm doing, I'm buying time, but it seems the markers might actually not be coming, unfortunately. Very unfortunate. But I'm still waiting another 5 minutes or so. I've been saying that for a long time now, to see if even one marker comes along. Some of these same markers have spoken to you actually on previous lives. Gavin Sam's mark for what? He marks for com studies or something else. Triple A, who has been on the live, marks for I think English A and B and other subjects. So some of these same teachers who have been here are markers. But I don't know, the markers told me that are there any channels for short stories? Yes, there are. I think 2 channels that um deal with the short stories. Let me do a quick search. I remember the names. Mac short stories. So if you want short story information, go to Mac. Let's see. Yeah, if you want short stories, you go here. Max Easy Lessons. I've seen these videos and I can tell you that they're high quality videos. Bam. Look for this little avatar right here. Yeah. These are short stories. Go to this playlist. English A. Oh, sorry. This is English A. More poetry stuff. This playlist. Short stories for CSEC English B. Bam. And there you go. Short stories analyzed. Maybe not all 20, but most of them. Yeah. Yeah, man. Oh, today. So I mean, yeah. So some of the content is very current. My favorite poem. Oh man, every poem I analyze become my favorite until the next one comes. But maybe my all-time favorite so far might be "Death Be Not Proud." Maybe. And actually, I couldn't even put the full analysis in that analysis video that you guys can see now, because that poem goes so deep and it's so complex. I didn't want to explain it fully because it's well beyond CSEC level. But that poem is a wicked poem. Death Be Not Proud. I touched on some of the complicated issues in the poem, but believe me, it's a wicked poem. I mean, it's good to know the forest stories, because depending on what theme they ask you to write about, some of the forest stories might be important. So it's good to know all of them. Yeah, the persona just deals with death. Oh man, you know what? Oh gosh, Dolce is another one of my favorites. My goodness. Oh yeah. It's 10 short stories. What is TWS? What's TWS? And if you have the time and you don't need to watch anything else, watch the 2 hour chat I had with teachers about Death Be Not Proud. Very interesting chat. Touch on every first within an answer. What about the English A people? Like, aren't you worried about English A? I'm seeing so much English. Oh man, I love South as well. Oh, it's rough. It's difficult to choose. So South is also a brilliant poem, and I really enjoyed doing that analysis. Oh, The Woman Speaks, one of my least favorite, probably. Vending machine, of course, buy a vending machine. There's none. I think. English B is tomorrow. Yeah, English B. English B is tomorrow. You guys got this, man. Just based on the content I've shown you, just fill in the gaps with the content. Catch up on what you need to catch up on. If writing is an issue, watch the writing videos. Poetry is an issue, watch the poetry videos. Target your weakness and work on that. Yeah, Old Hag is interesting. I recently watched C6 Circle's video on Mirror. Yeah, Mirror is a nice poem. English A is food. English A is food. You mean I'm gonna eat up English A? You're very confident. Yeah, I'm not sure many persons would disagree. English B is just a more analytical subject, requires more analysis. Yeah. Oh man. Well, guys, it seems I'm so sorry. The markers won't be able to come. I was hoping they would be able to show up if even late, but they did tell me that there's a chance they wouldn't show up. But I was hoping at least one would be able to show up. Oh man. If some of you guys came just to see the markers, I apologize to you. But we can keep chatting and ironing out some issues or concerns about CSEC, English A and B, if you wish. And while I still wait and hope. So you're gonna do 12 9 no. I mean, I think if a few more minutes pass and you guys have no more questions and the markers don't show up, I might just jump into 12 night for a little while. Oh, A Stone's Throw, brutal poem. Brutal poem, brutal poem. Oh man, my camera is so blurry. Yeah, a lot. Even if not most of them repeat, a lot of them repeat. A lot of them repeat. So many repeat questions, I'm telling you. So many. So working the past paper questions and English A and B, it's the same situation. Working the past papers, easy marks. You can secure easy marks by studying up the past papers. And all you have to do to prove that is look at all the past papers you can find, and you will see that entire passages are repeated and entire sets of questions. Like sometimes They repeat the passage and they repeat all the questions on that passage in the same order. No change. CSEC does that. Man, Panda, I've been telling them, I've been recommending this channel called 5 Quote Shakespeare. Let me show you. 5 Quote Shakespeare 12th Night. This guy has content on 12th Night. Yeah. It's not just the CSEC channels. So just type this into your taskbar, your YouTube search. 5 Quote Shakespeare 12th Night. This guy's gonna come up. Look at this. Look at this playlist here. This is an incredible playlist for 12th Night. Themes. He deals with the themes, he deals with the characters, and then he analyzes each scene, each act, each scene, video by video, scene by scene. So I would do something similar to this. And this is why I didn't break my neck doing 12th Night. I focused on Anansi and Letitia instead, because there was nothing on YouTube on those texts. But this guy has everything on 12th Night. So if I were to make a 12th Night video, the content would kind of be repetitive, because this guy goes deep. He looks like some kind of university professor or something. Yeah, this guy, and he has, well, his videos have some visuals, so you can take notes easily. Yeah, man. So when it comes to 12th Night, he helps you to visualize the characters. He has lots of notes. Watch this guy. Like, everybody who asks me about 12th Night, I recommend them to this channel. Yeah, man. So check that channel out, and you should be fine in terms of 12th Night. All right. It seems as if I'll make it official that the markers will not be able to show. So sorry for getting your hopes up about that. So if that's your only reason for being here, I'm sorry. Otherwise, we can keep chatting about English A&B for a little while. Maybe until I get into 12th Night, if that happens. In fact, you know what? There's no need for me to get into 12th Night, guys. Actually, there's no need. Watch 5 Quote Shakespeare. Believe me. There's nothing I'm going to tell you about 12th Night that this guy hasn't already said in his videos. It's the truth. Truth. Trying to get this camera to be a bit less blurry. There's nothing I'm going to tell you about 12th Night that this guy hasn't covered in his videos on his channel. So for 12th Night, check him out. Check him out. I have to give credit where credit is due, and this guy's good. For Animal Farm, I did a live stream with Jamian Hutton. Jamian Hutton had done his own live stream prior to that. Check those out. And if you go on YouTube, Course Hero and all these other channels have Animal Farm content. Of course, when it comes to CSEC English A, you won't be finding international channels doing that. So your best bet in terms of current videos might be my channel and Panda's channel. But you English B people, you have more options for some of the texts. God's grandeur is not on the current syllabus. Do not study God's grandeur to go into the exam. All right. God's grandeur, theme for English B, and orchids, they are not on the new syllabus. And that's why I made updated videos covering the 20 poems. So I eliminated the old poems and I included the new ones. Yeah. Why didn't you do short stories? To be honest, it was just a time issue. Well, two reasons. The first reason is I just didn't get the time, and the second reason is I didn't prioritize the short stories because Max Lessons has good short story videos. So I'm happy I did Letitia because Letitia is like the only content most of you guys have. My content on Letitia is like the only content you have on YouTube. But for the short stories, you have at least one other channel that does well with that. Other channels do the poetry as well, but I think I have a different approach, a unique approach with the poems. So I still did the poems anyway. How to Kill a Mockingbird. Guys, make sure you know what texts are coming this year. To Kill a Mockingbird isn't coming. All right. The plays coming, guys, for English B, the plays coming. 12th Night and Anansi. The prose, Animal Farm, For the Life of Letitia, the 10 short stories. The poems, the 20 poems. That's it. Yes, Little Boy Crying is one of the 20 poems. Check the syllabus. You will see everything. Also, check out a site called CSEC English Made Easy. You will see all the current texts. Yeah. I speak truth. Yeah. I know. I guess on CSEC's official website, you might be able to get the syllabus free. I think so. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, study all the current poems. Study all 20 of the current poems. Look up my themes video, and I deal with all 20 of the current poems. Yeah. Don't waste time studying the old poems because they will not be coming on the exam. Yeah, Michelle, that's a good plan. You can just continue watching videos. Tips. Yeah, it's one syllabus for English A and B. One syllabus. So yeah. So since the markers aren't coming, I'm just taking questions and trying to give clarity where I can. I'm gonna have to change the title of the stream because there are no markers here. I'll do that later. Tips for highlighting and explaining poetic devices for the essay. I'm sure you haven't watched my essay videos. That's why you're asking for tips. You haven't watched my essay videos. Watch my essay videos. Akila, you must be late because I just showed you Max English Lessons. That channel deals with the short stories. At least most of them. Yeah, most of them. If you're doing English B and you want to have options, then yeah, you need to know both. If you only know one, you better make sure you can answer that question on that text. If you want to give yourself options, then know the other one as well. Explaining devices. I went through all your videos, sir, but I still have issues trying to remember lines to give evidence. I think it's just Jody, that's tough actually. That's tough. Remembering the lines is difficult. Can be difficult. But I'm not sure if Panda has any advice. I think Panda in one of her lessons gave some tips about how to remember the poems. But what I can say is, in terms of lines, don't try to remember all the lines of all the poems. Just try to remember some key lines from each poem. And if you listen to the poems over and over and read them over and over, listen to each poem 2 or 3 or 4 times, you will be able to start recalling lines. Yeah, but it's 20 poems. If I listen to each poem 5 times, that's 100 listens. It's a lot, but that's what it takes. Yeah. And if you're going to the exam and you can't remember specific lines, just give evidence and paraphrase. But it's always a little bit more impressive when you can quote directly. CSEC likes that. And not just with figurative language, but with important thematic impact. So, for example, Dreaming Black Boy, you want to remember a line that deals with racism in a profound way, because that's a theme that comes out there. Yeah. Yeah, that's another good tip there from Ramold. Yes, 5 paragraphs. That is the standard essay length for English B, and even for English A, 5 paragraphs for the essays. Intro, point, conclusion. Oh, Rikela, you're new here. Welcome. Tip from Panda. Yes, try to remember key lines. The most useful lines are the ones that are an example of the device that you're talking about. Yeah. So when you're trying to remember lines that have important devices and that have important themes. You might be able to use such lines in the exam. Yeah, it takes a bit of practice, and it takes reading or listening to the poems many times to be able to remember lines. You have the exam tomorrow, so I don't think you'll be able to listen to each poem many times, but the poems that you're struggling with the most, pay more attention to them. For English B, there's no word limit. So just answer the question. Well, I think 500 to 600 words is generally what produces a good essay under exam conditions, like within 40 minutes. 500 to 600 words. So when I write sample essays within 40 minutes, they come out to about 500 to 600 words. My best students' best essays come up to about 500 to 600 words. So it's like 5 paragraphs, 100 words per paragraph, roughly. Beautiful line from a lesson for this Sunday. Long look back to see where choice is born. Nice line. Yeah, Romuald has some good tips for you guys. Desperate Blacks from West Indies, USA. Nice line that deals with the segregation, racism, etc. So whatever quote you, and even if you don't remember like long lines, just remember a couple of words that you can throw in. That's also good. You don't need to quote a whole stanza, just a few important words. If you remember even one word, I can quote it. Yeah. Just try to focus on those lines that are most impactful in terms of devices and themes. That's what I would say. Guys, what should I call this live stream? Because I'll have to change the title from advice from CSEC markers. I'll have to say English A and B pre-exam nervous chat. Not a bad title. Nice line there. Might re-enslave this island of the free from West Indies, USA. Yeah, get some sleep. Get some sleep. Don't stay up all night binging. Stay up some of the night binging if necessary, but not all night. David. Yeah, good tip here from Ahalia. If you can remember nice important words that connect thematically, that's also good. Yeah, I'll call it a pre-exam prep chat. Not bad. Q&A. Yeah, men make marriages with their guns. That's a good line from bird shooting season that you can use to connect to gender or masculinity, stuff like that. Oh yeah, obvious tip here. Indent the paragraphs. Come on. Oh yeah. Not hearing? Demoya? Just a moment ago I muted my mic. But I should be back now. Oh yeah. The ogre toes above it, that grim giant, empty of feeling, colossal cruel from that father that beat his son, little boy crying. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one too. Lots of themes can be tied into the fly birds fly. English A and B pre-exam chat and Q&A. Ooh, that's a mouthful, but I like it. Tips for exam anxiety. My main tip for exam anxiety is planning, because the more prepared you are, the less anxious you're going to be. I mean, there are some jitters that you're going to feel on the day because it's an important day. And feeling a bit of jitters isn't necessarily a bad thing. That adrenaline rush can actually unlock some reaches of a brain for it to write in an even more impressive way. But you don't want to be flustered and confused. That's what you want to avoid. And you avoid that by planning. So when you go into the exam, as soon as you read the instructions and question before jumping into answering, make your plan. Create your plan. And once you create a plan, for English A, I show you how to plan for each section, or at least how I plan. For English B, if you watch my essay formula video, I show you how to plan. You can use that plan for every section. So once you plan, you'll be able to construct the essay without all the nerves. You're wondering, guessing what to write. Just follow your plan. Yeah, President Toaster, nice name by the way. If you've been working past papers, if you've been practicing, then you might have developed a preference. So work with the order that's most comfortable for you. I'm an old-fashioned guy. I just do any paper I get, I do it from start to finish. But if you find that doing the poetry first is better or whatever, then do that. I explained this in detail in my analysis video, so please watch that. Please watch that. Yeah, says Yura. You will not have to comment on that in the exam, though. That's a little bit beyond CSEC level, to be honest. I included that in the video for fun, but you will not. I mean, if you can bring it up, man, you will wow CSEC for sure. But it's a punctuation mark, so it's not a device, it's not a theme. You might not have to touch on it. But if you're curious, then just check out the video. I talk about the caesareans or caesure if you want to be fancy. Yeah, English days. You feel lucky, but in 3 days you're gonna have English in one day. In 3 days, it's gonna be in one day. So your luck will soon run out. Yeah. Yeah, you all have English on the same day. You think CSEC is gonna give one set of students the exam on one day and then another set on another day? Man, cheating would ensue. People would start selling answers, selling questions. Bonus marks? Oh man. If you want bonus marks, quote unquote, then you need to know something that most students wouldn't know. You need to be able to drop something in that most students wouldn't be able to produce, or use some vocabulary that most students wouldn't be able to think of. Yeah, to get bonus marks. Bonus marks isn't a real thing, but I mean, I guess in a sense, the markers are human and they can be impressed. So impress them if you want bonus marks. Oh yeah, this list of things is good from from Composed Upon Westminster Bridge, because within this list you can kind of touch on a number of themes, man versus nature. If you could pair this with a few words that speak to nature, you would be good in terms of quotes. I think you'd be good. Oh yeah, brilliant line, brilliant line. Another good line would be when she lists out the different jobs she expected him to pursue, and then he turns to you. I think that line came just before this line. Techniques of prose, you're looking at things like in Life of Letitia, flashback is a big technique, and Jenny's death is foreshadowed throughout the play, throughout the novel. Contrast is a big one when you look at the different families and how they're so different. Ma's family is poor, Cephas's family is rich. Ma's family is extended, Cephas's family is nuclear. Irony, many ironies. Watch my Letitia videos. Yeah, you can use the same device for both poems. What best advice when we students reach essay part of paper for English? Best advice is to plan your essay. Plan your essay. The essay part, that's going to be the last section, right? Section D. You're going to be tired. You're going to need that plan. And another thing that came up in the live, don't just write about the side that you believe in real life. Write about the side for which you can produce points easily. That's another tip. Yeah. And in each paragraph, use at least one persuasive device, especially if it's a persuasive question. Yeah, Akila coming out with the quotes. Yeah, keeping us on our toes. Arroyo, are you talking about English A or English B? Let me know. Yeah, time to shine, man. Death being proud, that itself isn't paradoxical, but the fact that death will die is paradoxical, because death will lose in the end by defeating itself. So is it winning? Is it losing? Is it killing? Is it dying? So that aspect of it is paradoxical. I mentioned the paradox in the analysis video. You might want to rewatch that. Arif, I've recommended a resource for 12th night that you should use. So I don't need to touch on 12th night. Use 5 quote Shakespeare on YouTube. That guy has lots of 12th night information. The same information that I would have given you. I can't comment on that, and I don't want to. That sounds dangerous. New poems added: Death Be Not Proud, Landscape Painted Jamaica, and a lesson for this Sunday. Or English B, the structure. All right, let me show you an English B paper too. I owe it to you guys to do whatever you ask, because I promised you markers and there are no markers. I mean, I have a couple of markers here in this box, but I don't think you want to see those markers. Let's see. Let me just bring up an English B. See if I can bring up one of the recent ones. Oh my gosh, that's an ugly paper. Oof. Okay, all right. Let me show you guys. All right, so I'm looking at the English B paper. This is the how the paper looks. Now, English B. This one is the January 2021, but they all look the same. So this is how it looks. 3 sections in the paper. Section A, there are going to be 2 questions, the 2 plays. You're going to choose to answer a question on one of them. Section B, there are going to be 2 poetry questions. You choose one, you answer. Section C, you're gonna have the 2 prose. Actually, there are 4 questions in section C. Questions 5 and 6 will be Animal Farm and Life of Letitia. You choose one, or you can choose from 7 and 8, which will be a short story question. And this is why I say the more texts you know, the better, because the more options you'll have in the exam. So it says here there are 3 questions, answer 3 questions only, 1 from each section. So in the exam, you're going to answer 3 questions. So this is what section 1 is going to look like. Drama, 40 minutes. And of course, you will not see The Tempest. You will see Twelfth Night. You will not see this one. You will see Anansi. But the same kind of question structures might come up. They might give you a quote and then ask you like a 3-part question. You do that for 35 marks. So you choose whichever play you're better at, whichever question looks easier, you choose that one. You move on to section B, which is poetry. I thought C was poetry. It doesn't matter. Here, section B, poetry. You will have 2 poems. There's a slight difference between questions 3 and 4. In question 3, they're gonna, can I get the highlighter? In question 3, they're gonna give you 2 poems. They're gonna give you 2 poems and a theme, and you have to write the essay on those 2 specific poems. And question 4, they're gonna give you a theme, but they will not give you the poems. You can choose any 2 poems you like and answer the question. Yeah, for the poetry, it's a 3-part question. It's a 2-1-2 question. For example, looking at question 3, for each poem, describe how the speaker displays patriotism. So this is 2, because you're going to write how patriotism is displayed in 2 poems. Then 1, you will also discuss how one speaker's patriotism influences his or her decisions. So you write about both poems, then you write about 1 poem, then you're going to write about both poems again, and you're going to talk about devices in that last section. And then you have your conclusion. Yeah. Same setup for the next question, except they are not telling you what 2 poems to write about. And then you have the last section. And this will be prose. So you're going to get 2 options for short stories. You're going to choose 7 or 8, or wait a minute. You're going to choose 5 or 6, or 7 or 8. 1 long section, you choose only 1 question. The first 2 will be on, this will be Animal Farm, and this will be For the Life of Letitia. Right? You answer a question on either this or that, or you answer one of the short story questions. These short story questions will be set up like the poetry questions. One of them will likely give you 2 stories and a theme, and you write about that. And the other one will not give you 2 stories. You get to choose the 2 stories to answer a question. So that's the question. The paper looks long, but you're only doing 3 questions. I hope that gives you a breakdown of the paper too. No, Rikela, don't spend too long thinking. For the story, a simple plot is fine. You don't need a brilliant idea. You see, my story was very simple. Did you see my story live? And Panda's story was simple as well. Simple plot. Yeah. If you're trying to think of the next bestseller, you're gonna spend too long thinking and not enough time writing. I like this line. That's a nice line from Death Be Not Proud. Rosemary Blair, this is my final live. My final live. But what you can do is watch the previous live streams if you have missed them. Yeah, in the chat, I'm seeing some very nice quotes. Oh man, Raquel, there's a lot to watch. You can't watch everything. Watch the videos that are most important to you in terms of your weaknesses and gaps. You can't watch all of my videos. I'm telling you that. If you're going to start now, you can't watch all of them. But choose the ones that speak to your weaknesses. Mhm. That's my advice. A short summary about Dolce Cassidy. A soldier watches his comrade die and gets PTSD. That's it. That's a short summary of Dolce. He gets PTSD, post traumatic stress disorder. He's traumatized by what he sees. And so he tells us war is not a good thing. War is not cool. That's what happens in Dolce. I spent about 50 minutes talking about it in my analysis video, but that's it in 5 seconds. You should be able to reference the poets' names in your intro when you're mentioning the poems. Yeah. If you can only mention last name, that's better than nothing. So you can say Walcott's a lesson for this Sunday. If you don't remember, like it's Derek Walcott, just Walcott is fine. You can say Owens Dolce Decorumist if you can't remember Wilfred Owen. So it's, yeah, I think it's a little bit, I feel like something's missing if I see a poem and the poet is not mentioned even once. I'm not sure if mandatory is a word I'd want to use, but it's definitely a good way to secure marks. It's definitely something you want to do if you want to be on the safe side. The more evidence you can give, the more clear and precise the evidence can be, the more you're showing that you understand and you've read the texts. Not just for poetry, but for all sections. 2022, I'm not sure. I think for one of those 2022, do I have that paper? Maybe not. I don't have 2022. It seems no one has it. I'm a private student and new to English B, so what should I read for 2023? That rhymes. I'm a private student and I'm new to English B. What story should I read for 2023? Um, check out the syllabus. The syllabus will tell you all the texts. Or check the website csecenglishmadeeasy.com. On like the front page or one of those pages of that site is the 10 stories, the 20 poems, the 2 plays, the 2 novels. Yeah. You don't want to be going in there having studied for the wrong texts. Yeah, it's good to know the author's names, poets' names. At least last name. Oh man, I appreciate that. What are your suggestions of writing a conclusion paragraph? Oh man, you have not watched my essay videos. That's why you're asking that question. English A or English B, Jordan? English A or English B? Jordan, English A or B? If it's English B, then you quickly restate your points and restate the connection between the poems. If it's poetry, or if it's not poetry, just restate like the main idea of the essay and end with something that sounds cool, something that sounds profound. If you can think of something, well, just watch my poetry essay videos, and you will see how I conclude. Yeah. Usually the syllabus keeps the text for a couple of years. So since these texts, the texts were recently changed, I'm expecting that for the next at least 3 years, text will remain. Very, very frequent, Vamp. Look at my paper and videos, and you will see how many times I read the same old passages and answer the same old questions. Yeah, if you can remember the full name, you just need the full name once to show CSEC that you know the full name. After that, I can just mention last name for the poetry stuff. Yeah, 2023 to 2027, but poems might poems might change in that time, maybe. It's possible. It's always possible. For a body paragraph, you just start with the point of the paragraph and go on to explain. That's what you would do. Start with what the point is, what the paragraph is going to discuss, and then explain. I would say for every point that you bring up, you need at least one quote. For every point you bring up, if you bring up the person as a racist, bring up some kind of evidence. It doesn't have to be like a word for word quotation, but some kind of evidence, whether you're quoting line word for word or paraphrasing. Support whatever you say. In terms of word for word quotations, I think if you can throw in a couple, that's good. Our panel is answering a question. What's the question being answered from Horde Prime? See if I can bring up the question. Is it okay to use personal pronouns? All right, Panda does. I never do that, so maybe depending on how you use it, you might be fine. Might be a matter of preference as well. Can we incorporate quotes from the poem into sentences, not necessarily when explaining the point? Can we incorporate quotes from the poem into sentences and necessarily when explaining the point from the prompt? Oh yeah. That's a good way to use quotes. You can throw in words, mid sentences. That's a really smooth way to use quotes. Any tips for someone writing the Anansi story? I mean, what you need to know is going to be the same for every text: your themes, your characters, your plot, your devices. For Anansi in particular, you need to really know how the slave ship stories connect to the forest stories. I am really looking out for a question on that. You know, talking about how the two settings kind of parallel each other. I mean, you really just need a hook for your intro. Yeah, no need to think of a hook for every paragraph. You know, this is something you can kind of practice and slightly kind of memorize ish. Like, think about 10 good hooks, and chances are you might be able to use or tweak one of those in the exam. If you have a problem like thinking on the spot, just pre-think of a couple of hooks and you might be able to tweak one of those hooks in the exam. Also, you can always throw in the good old rhetorical question if you're in a pinch, or leave your hook for last. Mhm. So start the essay normally, but leave a line at the top, and then when you think of a bright idea halfway through the essay, throw in your hook. I do not want to predict anything. Don't want to predict anything. I mean, I know what the structure is going to be like. I've shown you the structure, but in terms of themes, man, I can guess. Predict is a strong word, but common themes: nature, race, death, gender. Yeah, those are common themes. There might be a few more. So make sure you know like the broad common themes that many poems deal with. Chances are, at least one of the questions will deal with one of those themes. Hmm. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, you'll choose between 12th Night and the Nancy. Mhm. Yeah, I haven't seen a nature question, I think, maybe 2 or 3 years. So a nature question is due. And one of the new poems, two of the new poems touch on nature. So maybe that's a hint, hint. Essays are worth 35 marks. Oh, you guys have lots of questions, which is good. That's why we're here. What section are you guys most worried about? It seems we're focusing on English B right now. I'm not seeing many English A questions. But if you have English A things you want to iron out, you can still let me know. Because I don't think I'll be doing any English A lives after this anyway. I don't think these exist, Tyler. I don't think they exist. Find a teacher whose explanations you trust and work with them. Or work them yourself. uh, Oh, the recent ones. Lesson for this Sunday deals with nature, with a butterfly being tortured, and landscape painter Jamaica is all about nature. So, how do you understand the poems and drama on paper one? Yeah, it's really a matter of practice, Susan. It's really a matter of practice. I remember, I think it was 2019, there was a poem called Elephant. Man, that poem rocked the boat. There are some hard poems that come on paper one. Hurricane Story was a hard poem. There was one about drivers that was a hard poem. You just have to, try to read analytically, just like you read for these 20 poems. Look for devices and think about deeper meanings to the lines. Yeah. I mean, those unseen poems they can be tough. You just gotta tough it out. The more past papers you work, the easier they become, though. And this is a good point. Sometimes the questions give you hints as to what the poems are about. A big auntie, that's a nice style for the essays. Point, evidence, explanation. If you don't remember it word for word, then don't put it in quotation marks. Just paraphrase. Another thing you can do, if you remember just a few words, like what if you know the words colossal cruel are in a quote, but you can't remember the whole sentence. Just put those words in quotes. Yeah, you can choose either animal farm, Letitia, or a short story question for prose. Yes, Hogwarts has it done. Do that if it works for you, Kadim. Some teachers suggest this. I am old fashioned. I read things as they come. So I read the passage, then the questions. But some teachers suggest you read the questions. So while reading the passage, you start getting ideas. So try both methods, and whatever works for you, you work with that. Interesting. I know Yard Boy, but I don't remember it appearing on a CSEC question. I studied that at university. Nice point. English B paper two. I think it's 2 hours 40 minutes. Let me check. What? 2 hours 10 minutes? My gosh, it's not a lot of time. 2 hours 10 minutes to do three questions. Guys, don't you have past papers? This information is on the past papers. Paper one is, I think, paper one is what, 2 hours 10? Same as paper two? Really? Let me see. Paper one is 2 hours. 2 hours. Yeah. So the English B paper 2 is shorter than English A, and their paper 1 is longer than English A, because English A, you only get 90 minutes for paper 1. Monisha, do what you can in the time that you have, but the best case scenario is to study everything. Study as many texts as you can for each section. So you might have more options in the exam. But seeing that exam is tomorrow, there's only so much more I can do at this point. So if you have mastered one novel and one drama, then why don't you use a little bit of time to touch on the others just in case? No, if you're going to be writing your own words or paraphrasing, you wouldn't put it in quotation marks. But you can still mention that something happened. But and if you're going to manipulate like just like one word of a quote or just a piece of a word just so it flows grammatically, they can put whatever you manipulate in square brackets to show the marker that you are inserting this word or that word. Square brackets. It's an advanced technique that CSEC might be impressed by. Let me show you an example. You might not know what I'm talking about when I say square brackets. So let's say there's a quote in the poem that says, "I am a boy." And you want to reference this quote in a sentence like this. The this is a bad example, right? The persona says that. No, you can't say you oh wait. Let me find a different example. Okay, I want to sell tomatoes. Why am I using stupid quotes, stupid lines? So let's say this is a line from the poem. You can say the persona I want to sell tomatoes, oranges, pineapples, and grapes. No, honestly, these examples suck. But with the square brackets, you could say the persona wants to here for once you could put this S in square brackets because the quote doesn't have an S. The quote doesn't have an S, but you need the S to make the sentence grammatical. So you throw the S in square brackets. Yeah. Or what if the quote doesn't even have the word to, but you want to add the word to? Then you would put to in square brackets. So it's just if you're tweaking or adding one little word or one little piece of a word, I can use square brackets. But if you're completely changing or paraphrasing or rewording the quote, then you just wouldn't put them in quotation marks at all. Sir, I study Letitia and Anansi, also the 20 poems and 10 prose. But I'm wondering if it's best to just focus on Letitia. I mean, the more you can cover, the better. If you know Letitia and Animal Farm, you might be good. Or if you know Letitia and a couple of the stories, you might be fine. The more you know, the better. Yeah, you can check any of these resources mentioned to find out exactly what poems are current. Yeah. Yeah, sorry for that, for those bad examples. I have real essays with square brackets. I don't know why I didn't just bring up one of those. Yeah, but that's a little detail though, the square bracket thing. Yeah. All right, I think it seems the questions are drying up, so we should call it a day. It's been 2 hours. I guess I'll wish you guys luck and call it a day. Any more concerns for English ARB? Any more general questions you guys have? Oh, I'm getting sick. Man, that's a common problem. So sometimes when you're studying, you have to study and restudy and study in a different way and stuff like that. And hopefully you're not studying while being distracted by other things. But yeah, sometimes you have to revise and revise again and re-revise. I think that's a natural part of it, of the thing. Go as far back as you can. Go as far back as you can for paper one. Of course, prioritize the later papers, the newer papers, but go as far back as you can. War shows up in Dolce Decorumist. This is the dark time, my love. I did a live stream on themes. I listed out 20 themes and I gave you a poem list for each theme. Watch that live stream. You can jump around, look through the chapters, and just go to the particular themes you want to check on if you don't want to watch the entire video. Oh, you're welcome, Tiffany. I'm not sure what you're referring to, but whatever it is, you're welcome. I say just throw in a couple of quotes. You don't have to overdo it. You know, just use a couple of quotes. There's no like magic number. I don't know, maybe for each poem, if you could make 2 or 3 quotes. I mean, these are all major themes in the text, in the poems, so it's quite possible. Mhm. 12th Night and Animal Farm tips. Maybe the biggest problem I've seen in essays I've read is students don't understand dramatic techniques. Read up on our dramatic techniques. Use the resources I've discussed. Check up on our dramatic techniques. Make sure you have those down. Make sure you know how to comment on things like irony, things like especially dramatic irony, contrast, stuff like that. Yeah. Students are usually good with poetic devices, but when it comes to dramatic techniques, they struggle a little bit. Yeah, my pleasure, my pleasure. One for each. Yeah, good luck to everybody. Yeah. Oh yeah. All right, Tiffany, I get it now. Yeah. My pleasure, my pleasure. Anyway, guys, let's just call it. Let's not try to be here for too long, since I think we're starting to repeat questions now and stuff like that. Yeah, let's call it. Let's call it. You guys got this. Good luck. You have all the videos that you can check out in case you still have gaps you want to fill in. Just find the resources, and yeah, you guys are good. You guys got this. So good luck tomorrow. Good luck tomorrow. Yeah, dialogue if you're really desperate. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, take care, guys. It's been a journey. It's been good to see to I've seen some of you guys on a lot of videos and a number of live streams. So it's good that we've made it here, to this end point. Well, the end point is tomorrow. So good luck. It's up to you now. It's up to you. Let's go in there. Do what you know you need to do. All right. You've been to the lives, you've been practicing, you've been working past papers. You still have a little bit of time to watch a few more videos or rewatch things to fill in the gaps. And yeah, get some good rest tonight. Don't overdo it in the night, because you want to wake up with a fresh mind. Yeah, you're quite welcome, Afisha. Quite welcome. All right, guys. I'll see you. Some of you will be commenting and saying, "Yes, sir. I mash up the exam. I got a grade 1." I'll be looking forward to those comments. Yeah, clutch, 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 clutch stuff. Oh, thank you. This was not meant to be this kind of Q&A, but you know what? This chill, more laid back session, I think it worked. I think it worked anyway. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, guys, take it easy. I'm hanging up, but you can always call back in the comment sections. Yeah. Yeah. Good luck. Good luck. I'll wish you luck again for English A later, but for now, good luck. Good luck in the English B. Yeah. Man, I always get this comment, but you know what? Better late than never. All right, bye. Bye, guys. Take it easy.